Good morning, guys. I would like to know who is on board. All right, guys. Yeah, guys, I would like to talk about healing. Good morning, Machesmo Eugene. Sorry. Good morning, Machesmo Eugene. I don't know if I know what. Maybe I put it. Machesmo, I'm thinking about Machesmo. Can you give me EMJ's hi? Machesmo Eugene, I want to know if I can bring you live on this feed. There's something I'm trying out here. Can you, because there's something you wanted to share with the public. Let me try to invite Machesmo Eugene. Machesmo, do you have time? If you have got time, give me one. I want to see if I can invite you on this live and we have a little bit of a chat. Just to have. Machesmo, how much time do you have? I want to see if I can invite you and we have a little bit of a chat about something that you wanted to share with us. So Machesmo is a follower, guys, and he wanted to share something with us before, and I thought that I would see if I can invite Machesmo here. I want to know if you have time. Just give me one, and I'll give you an invite. Actually, I think I can invite people here. Let me see. Machesmo, can I invite you to speak with us? You just drop a one if you have time. EMJs, hi EMJs. We have 6 people on board. I want to talk about healing, guys. I want to talk about healing. It can be after narcissistic abuse. It can be after going through long periods of trauma. Marco Leron. Hi, Marco. Marco Leron. Marco sounds French. Have about half an hour. Okay, so Machesmo has about half an hour. So let me invite you, Machesmo, and we see if it's possible to broadcast a little bit, even if you give us like 10 minutes. This video may run for about an hour. So guys, BMAC. Okay, let's try to invite Machesmo. Invite guests to the broadcast studio. You may also want to share instructions for this. Guys, I don't know how this thing works. But how do you even invite a guest here? Okay. Then we'll go back here. I don't know how you invite a guest. Send this link to your guests. You may also want to share. Okay, so I need to send the link to Mochesmo Eugene. Let me send this link to Mochesmo and we'll see if he's gonna get it. Guys, stay on board, stay online. I'm trying to do something very quickly. Where is okay, so we're still here. Mochesmo, I'm going to send you a link, and when you get the link, you use that link, and I see if I can bring you on board here. I'm sending you a link on WhatsApp. What is it? All right. Eugene. Mochesmo, can you check your WhatsApp and see if you can use that link to join us here? Mochesmo, check your WhatsApp. There's a link I've sent to see that if I can bring you on board. All right. Let's do like this. I'm just trying this out, guys, so don't worry about the twisting and all that with the camera. Don't worry about that. Mochesmo, if you get the link, let me know if you can use that link and join us here. Actually. For the guys who are just joining us, be patient with us. I'm trying to see if I can invite a guest that wanted to share this. Okay, there's a guest here. All right. Guest. All right. I think Mochesmo has joined us from the other side of the US. Mochesmo Eugene, it's nice to have you on board. Oh, I think we've lost him. Mochesmo, come again, please. Okay, he's coming back here. How to stream.
I see you. What's up, brother?
Yes, Machismo. Very nice to have you on board. You know, I've been having some issues with there's this app I'm trying to use, and I think it was possible for me to invite somebody here, so I wanted to try it out. Unfortunately, you've been online.
You had a delay, but now it's good. So what's up? How you doing, man?
Everything is great, Machismo. Everything is great. We are glad to have you on board. For the guys, for the most of you who are just joining, Machismo is also our subscriber, he's a follower, he's a friend, he's a fellow empath. The other side of the world, he's coming from the US. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and exactly what he wanted to share with us on this.
Happy to see you, man. Happy to see you. Hello, everybody. I'm in New York, by the way.
Okay. Which part of New York is that, Machismo?
Upstate New York, above, right outside, right outside of Syracuse, New York. That's where I'm at. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay. I can hear you properly. Yes.
So what's going on?
Everything's great, Machismo. Thank you for joining us. I'll just call you Eugene for this broadcast. So we have followers who are listening to you. I think there is something you wanted to share with us. A few days ago, you texted me about something. And this has caught us off guard, unfortunately, but we can use this opportunity. You can tell us a little bit of what you want to share.
Hold on, can you hold on 1 second? I see you in 2 screens. That's probably why we got a delay. Hopefully, if I lose you, I'll get you back. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Is that better now? We got 1 screen, so it shouldn't be a delay. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, we're on 1 screen. That's right, yeah.
That's good, no? So you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that there is something you wanted to share with the viewers. A few days ago, you texted me and I told you I'm going to see what I can do. And then I found this software, the StreamYard, and fortunately, you've been on board. So I want us to use this opportunity, even if you have about 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how much time you have.
Okay.
Just to share with us what exactly did you want to share with us? Did you want to talk about?
You know, man, sometimes, you probably know when you're just going about your daily business, things hit you, you see things. Now that we're waking, we see things, and immediately I should write it down, but I don't. There's so much material I could put on here. It's overwhelming. You go through the stages. So fortunately, you're dedicated, and the things that you do on here, and other people like Paula, Narcon, just some solid people, man. And I respect that. But to your point, I believe it was the fact that, and this is probably for somebody that's on here, I'm sure, because we don't go through this by ourselves. Right now, I'm experiencing, and I'd heard it on, I sent you the link to the girl that does, we had spoken that she does a lot of YouTubes outside, and she talks about gang stalking, the young lady. To which I don't want to mention her on here, but you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
so she was talking about noises, whereas when people are living in the dwellings with you, such as say not roommates but tenants living in the same building, they make a lot of banging noises. And when she said that, the hair stood up on my arm, because I'm experiencing that right now as we speak. And I didn't want to do a video on it, but since we're here, I think I should speak about it, because this is warfare right now. I told you my story about the narcissist, and this is a great time to tell everybody that I went through narcissist abuse, and it was by the grace of God, it only lasted for 9 months. Well, I married her in April 2019. She was gone out of my house in February or March of 2020, which is when a lot of us woke up. 2019, 2020. I find that ironic. And so 9 months. So I didn't get abused like a lot of. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Everything is clear. I hear you very well.
Okay, because I want to be discreet because they still are probably in the dwelling. They leave normally around noon. But it's just this banging, this obsessed banging, and it's getting increasingly intense by the day, and it's at sporadic times of the day, in the night when everyone should be sleeping. And when I say banging, I mean this is deliberate. And I'm not a psychologist, but I study a lot. So what I believe it is antisocial personality, plus there's some demons dealing with him spiritually. You know, we all believe this is spiritual, you and I. I don't care what psychologists say. I do use their key and their code words to express what we're talking about. But in the end of the day, we've been abused by these people. We've seen this, something that you can't put in a book. But he's doing some stuff that I'm very concerned about, and not afraid of him, but there is a deep concern because my children live here with me. You know, yes. I have custody of them. So the weekends they spend with their mother, and that's pretty much the only time when I can kind of rest assured that, you know, there's not going to be any, issues, you know. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I'm sure there's somebody on here that has someone that is creating distractions for them, is what they are designed to do, I think. Because if you're resonating or vibrating, as we say, very high,
yeah,
you don't even have to speak. You can be in your own dwelling about your own business. I'm seeing this, Des, that your energy is so strong. And this has nothing to do with me as a person. So I don't want people to think that I'm embellishing myself. When you have a fear in God or the Creator, he rewards you for that. And if he knows your heart is pure in the sense of you have no ill intentions against other people, I believe that's the reason why he brought us out of the abuse, because there are instances where two narcissists can end up killing one another. I'll give you an example. Johnny Depp right now, this is being highlighted. And I'm not going to say which one is which, but this Johnny Depp trial, I'll leave it to everyone to see. This is narcissism in full display.
Yeah.
On the big screen. The people who we looked up to, the people, and I'm going to be honest with you, Johnny Depp, when they try to label us crazy, it's ironic. Jim Carrey, I can go on and on and on. When people begin to wake up to the foolishness, the matrix, you are going to be deemed crazy.
Yeah,
and whether you care about it to the degree you're concerned about it will determine whether you move forward the way God wants you to move, or whether you get stagnated in the naysayers. You say it all the time. Your family members thought you were crazy, and they still think you're crazy.
Yeah, they still do. They still do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I give them less attention at the moment, because I know where I'm at on my healing journey.
My prayers are for you. So just to keep you strong, because I know it's easier said than done, and nobody knows what you're going through behind the camera, but you know, I'm praying with you, man. So
yeah, the family, I let it go, which is even one of the things I've just decided to do this video about the healing, because healing also requires letting things go and letting people go as well. So I was also going to talk about that later on.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So I don't know what you think about that. I just told you about the banging and the noises. I know it's kind of off of your topic, but what do you think about it? And what do I do?
On a spiritual perspective, that's right. The gang stalking can happen in that way, whereby you start out of people around you, the neighbors around you, relatives, friends, the people who live around you. Fortunately, the place where I live is a bit isolated. You know what I mean? I've got neighbors, but they have got no idea what I'm doing, and we don't have any contact together. So where I'm at the moment, everything's great. I don't have any problems with bangings, or I may have stalkers still, gang stalking going on. Sometimes when I'm in the park, there is people here and there, you know, moving around my back. Sometimes you just see people all of a sudden just appear out of the blue. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. I know what it is. You know, sometimes when I go to the city, it also happens the same way. I still see people every now and then following me, sometimes watching me, doing this and that. I would care less anyway, because I would know what frequency they are at the moment, because the gang stalkers normally they're on a very low frequency. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
and you're aware.
like,
You're aware. You're very aware. So they have an appointment. So they don't have to know you. They have an appointment. So when you read it, like you say, it doesn't bother you. It doesn't distract you. And it's ironic you say that. Nobody in my neighborhood or in this area, I think, is doing a YouTube channel. So I really need to like step it up, because there is a prevalence of narcissism in this city where I live. You know, the hobo narcissists, you should do a video on that. This is the vagabonds, the homeless. They call those hobo narcissists. So that would be a good topic. So
I've got a client. I've got a client who also has a problem with what you're saying right now, but for her, I think it's more of with the parents. It's so the family where she lives. You know, all of a sudden she's sleeping in the night and she's just hearing a lot of noises in the corridors, people banging doors and throwing plates all over the place. So it's a similar scenario all over the place. A lot of people who are going through this abuse, they know what it is. But to understand it, you have got to be awakened to understand what it is. Because if you're not awakened, you may just think people are trying to disrupt you, or what do they call it? Or just like make a nuisance of themselves. But on a spiritual perspective, a person who is awakened, you will know exactly where they're coming from, because you will know these are just vessels. You know what I mean? So they are vessels who are coming around to cause some kind of a disruption. Like now, like for you, because I understand you're doing videos as well. And by the way, guys, if you're here, Mochesmo is doing videos as well about narcissism. You guys can go and check out his page. You can see what he's got to say. He's got as well some good content. So as a person who's doing videos, sometimes you will also face a lot of disruptions like that. Fortunately, I've overcome all of those. You know what I mean? Because like I've walked this journey for about 2.5 years now. So I can say right now where I'm at, I've conquered most of them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you vibrate higher, it's almost impossible to get stopped. You're unstoppable. If I can call the word like, you're unstoppable. No matter what they do, how much they try, they cannot go through, because somewhere you're protected and you're guarded. You know what I mean? Very
true. It's a heavy heart, though, you know, and I know you can empathize with this. It's a double-edged sword, man. You know, I heard you say in one video the other day, you said you're gonna go through times, even though you're healing, when you say to yourself, man, you know, I wish I didn't, kind of indirectly wish I didn't see what I see, or because it's like you've been giving a task once you've been awakened. It's kind of like the good book says to all of you who know about the good book. It says to whom much is given, much is required. And I love that, because we have been given an appointment by God. Because I read a text, a guy say, before the narcissist, I didn't believe in God. But after the narcissist, I know that there's a devil, or the devil exists. So if the devil exists, I know there has to be a God. I'm paraphrasing. And that was chilling, because this brought him closer to God. And Dave on Narcology Unscripted, I haven't watched him in a while. Some of the notifications don't come up. I'm just healing, man. Because like I say, 9 months into this, I think my biggest problem was I want to fix things. And, you know, I do landscaping. So I met this individual, and a lot of us, we have well-meaning intentions. We're gullible. We're gullible. It's not a bad thing to be gullible, because in how you allow people in is where the problem exists. And once they get in and insulate themselves, you're going to make excuses for even remaining with them when there are red flags right out of the gate. Even before I married her, there was problems there, and she has an autistic son, so it's going to be a lot more down the pike for him. So
how long were you involved with the narcissist?
With including married to her,
let's say from the beginning, from the whole entire cycle.
I'll give you the short of it. I met her in a church. I was taking my kids to church. And this is going to resonate too, because a lot of us met the narcissist in a spiritual capacity. So this is one of many few places that you let your guards all the way down. Is in the house of God. You start hugging people, so your inhibitions are down. And so I wasn't looking for anybody, a relationship. I was single and have been single for a while. I was taking my kids to church to expose them to the principle of spirituality and to see if they, in fact, like church. So long story short, her son ran out in front of my car, and to which, he thought I was going to almost hit him when I was going in the parking lot. I get out, I see the mother a distance in the back, and she yells at him, "I told you stop running." And so I could tell right away he was autistic. So what I did, I say I wasn't going to hit him. I go into church, sit and worship. I come out, my children want to play in the playground. I'm going to speed it up for you, Des. So I sit down on the bench. I was hesitant. I say, because they're older. I was like, "You guys want to go out and play on the playground?" They say, "Yeah, Daddy, for a few minutes." I wasn't in a rush. I don't have to go home for anybody. So I said, "Okay, go ahead." And so I'm sitting on the bench, just as I'm sitting like this. Because empaths, even before we know we're empaths, we're always in deep thought. We're thinking way ahead of time. We're always premeditatively thinking.
We live within our heads. That's what they say with the empaths.
Yeah,
we live in our heads,
So my hands are like this, and I'm just kind of just reflecting on the sermon, and all of a sudden I see a piece of paper. It comes under my eyesight like this, and there's no speech behind it. It's a track from her church, a church track or program.
Yeah.
To which I look up to her like this, and I kid you not, and I say, "I'm not promising you I'm coming to your church," because at this time, Dennis, I actually was being visited by God in a way where I saw a lot of the churches as being very phony, very superficial, very cloaked in a lot of hypocrisy, to which I'm no respecter of man. We all have faults, but the hypocrisy was so overwhelming till I had came to a point where I wanted to worship God within my own confines. So God was working me into where I'm at right now, and I didn't know it. And so I said, "I'm not going to promise you I'm coming to your church." 2 weeks later, the track was sitting in my home because I didn't throw it away out of respect. And I told the kids, I say, "Why don't we go check this church out? It's only right across the street." Now, mind you, Dennis, I've not had a Hoover. I've had none of this. I have none of this stuff that people talk about. Sure, she's stalking me. She lives about 2-minute walking distance from my house. The woman I married. Yeah.
You still live in the same vicinity?
Listen, I probably look closer to my this monster. I won't say my narcissist, but the monster I married lives that close. And watch this. The address I have, my house number is the exact house number as hers. When we met, we thought that was sort of ironic. My house number is 4 digits. The same 4 digits as my house is her house. It's just a different street. And where she lives at, I'm a landscaper, and I rent equipment such as excavators. Her mom owns 2 houses right behind the equipment place that I've rented from for 10, 15 years. Had never seen this woman in my life. And you understand why, because they move around. They're like traveling salesmen. They only go out of their house and in their house to get in their car, because they have an astronomical amount of task in a day when you think about. And we're sitting here ruminating about them, and they got so much going on. But back to the point, I went to the church and I saw her sitting, and I went and sat right beside her and her son. In my mind, I'm thinking, wow, this girl's like kind of taken back. Someone took her up on her offer. That makes you feel good when somebody comes on an invite. So after that, she said, very quiet, very covert, very covert. You can never convince someone that she's a narcissist because she's so quiet. And so after church, she said, well, my mom cooks dinner every Sunday after we get out. You're free to come and eat with us if you want. And I was like, I don't know about that. It's like, I just came to visit your church. All this time, I didn't know I'm putting up boundaries, but they're weak. Because we grow up in the matrix. Oh, you don't want to be disrespectful. So you kind of play this mechanical game of sorts. And so I took her up on the lunch, And I went to her mother's house, and straightway I was real impressed by her mom. They're Polish descent. Her mom doesn't speak a lot of English, but very sweet woman. And even to this day, Denz, I'm looking at the point, in fact, that I don't believe the mother is the one that recruited her. I believe it was the father. And I never met him. He was deceased many years before I met her. So she told me stories about him. He was a real hard worker. So I think it came from that side of her family. And she told me a story one time. She lived in Poland, and this is important here for someone who wants to understand how their narcissists possibly became the way they did. Because we all know desertion, abandonment, some physical abuse, mental, emotional abuse. We all know some of the triggers that can make these people become what they are. She told me a story. She was left in Poland when she was 2 or 3 years old. As her family, like a lot of immigrants, they come to the States and they get settled, and then they send for the children. And so in the way she told that story, they never look you in the eye. So I don't know if it's the truth or not. So she told me this story where her mom left her for about, she said a few years, but I talked to her brother about it sometime after that, before she left my house, before I discovered all this narcissist stuff. And I say, well, you know, your sister said blah, blah, blah. He said, well, it wasn't that long. It was only about like 3-6 months. And in his mind, I think he's comparing that to, it was a short period of time. So that may have been the fact of how she became a narcissist. But I think her father spoiled her and her mother had boundaries. But irregardless to that, I met her in the church, and lived in separate houses. I wasn't going to have sex with her. You know, the whole spiel. We put up boundaries, and then we only break our own rules. But by design, they're working on us. They're working. They're dismantling all of those cracks in our fortress. And so I ended up marrying her. I used to your question, I had known her. I look at my phone and I erased everything. You know, the cloud has these pictures popping back up. So I can attribute it, as far as I can remember, back 2018. Beginning, let's say if it was the beginning of 2018, she was out of my house March 2020, so 24 months. And I married her April 7th, 2019. She was out of my house right before the country shut down. And I tell this story on YouTube to some degree. She left right before the pandemic money came, but she had already filed the taxes. So in short, she recouped about $20,000 of pandemic money for me and my children. Oh, one more thing real quick. I know I'm bouncing around, but some of this stuff is probably going to resonate with somebody. They take your personal
identity or
sensitive papers. She right now possesses my social security card, my children's social security card, and all of our birth certificates, to which I haven't replaced yet. And of course, you know, they take some of the possessions out of the house, to which I'm not concerned about that. But she took quite a few things, but to that sensitive information, she has that. And, you know, people say, well, why don't you go and try to get that from her? These are the people.
I know what you mean. Why
don't you ask her for it?
People think it's just easy. You just go and walk to a Narc and get whatever you want from them, you know. and normally, really doesn't work like that. You shared the video. I was looking through one of your videos. You shared a video about the discard. I remember I saw a video about the discard.
Oh,
she dismantled the whole house and broke down the whole kitchen and everything.
Yep, and that's documentation in one way or another without me knowing at the time. You know, they're smearing us and they're projecting I'm the narcissist, as I understand that, and everything. So I told you the tactic, right? Did you hear the way that I got her out of the house? I had to leave my house for 3 days. I had to literally sleep in my car for 3 days. Actually, I got a hotel room one of the nights after I got off of work and my children weren't here. I can't believe I left these kids in her care, man. It's kind of like you leave your children with a child when you look back at it. But
it's really painful, you know, because especially for the guys, for the men, when we're discarding narcissists, because in Europe, you know, in the Western society, in Africa it's different. You know, you can discard a narcissist and you let them leave your house, because in Africa it works a different way. But in Europe, it's like the Western world. You discard a narcissist, you guys have a problem or things like that. So the police doesn't know anything about narcissism, or the law enforcement, things like that. The only thing they're going to come,
you wasting your time. They probably, you may have a cop that's a narcissist. He'll come in and gaslight you with her, and you're the victim. So they'll have her looking like the victim, and you called them, you know, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, you know, when the law enforcement, because I remember as well in the discard at the end of towards the end of the entanglement, we had to call in the police. That's how bad it was. You know, we had to call in the police because things were going to get very, very nasty. So normally when the police, the law enforcement comes around, they don't really look at the small things. They don't know about narcissism, emotional abuse, and things like that. The only thing they will do is to protect the women and children. But most of the cases, the women and children include the narcissists and the children. You know what I mean? So they don't know that the people they're trying to protect, sometimes they are even the problem. So normally, the guys most of the times will leave the house. In most case scenarios, we leave the children we leave the narcissist behind with the children.
Guess what? It works that way in America too. I think it's a universal thing. It's only a few small things in which it fluctuates, but like you say, the man normally is the one that's asked to leave. And
yeah, the man is asked to leave, you know. So the woman is going to come around and they're going to tell the cops that he was trying to beat me up and things like that. So they're going to form up some kind of a story, a believable story. So then you have to leave the house, but it's very, very painful to leave children behind with a narcissist. You know what I mean?
But I want to say this really quick, if I can, Dennis. Then thank you for bringing me in here, man, because I think you're the first person that asked me to come on live, and I'm humbled by it. Because what we're doing, having just a discussion between two brothers, that, you know, this is like sitting around talking and just helping people understand what they're dealing with, even though some of us know and we're still stuck in it, and we're figuring out 100 reasons to leave. And you only need one silly reason to stay. And it's a silly reason to stay. You say it's for the kids. So you're going to let this person inflict more pain on you and your children. Let them see you suffer in front of you, you know, in front of your kids. So my point is, what I wanted to say was, I don't take this lightly. I know we're smiling, we're laughing. I really am heartbroken for a lot of people when I read the comments, and that's probably why I still go on live. I mean, not live, but I watch videos still, even though I know I don't really have to. I'm a very busy guy. I don't even think about her, because I read comments where people have been in 20-year relationships, marriages. They have gone into psychotic counseling, or not psychotic counseling, but psychological counseling. They're on multiple medications because the narcissist had them believing that they were crazy, because they'll tell you, you crazy, you need to go get some help. To which an empath or a codependent, if you believe that, you'll do whatever it takes to fix that problem, and they're unfixable. You can never fix the problem. And you heard Johnny Depp said it on the stand. He said, I did everything I could to make her laugh, and it got to a point where nothing worked. And I don't know if he knows what he's dealing with. I would stand on it. I would put my faith on what he's dealing with. He's dealing with a psychotic narcissist. And at the end of the day, once they destroy you, now she's getting supply off of being on the stand, or just being in the courtroom. If you look at this person's demeanor, a person's demeanor does not lie. They are cool in that courtroom. Anybody in their right mind doesn't want to be in the courtroom going through that. You can see in their face if it bothers them. And when he spoke, he's not crazy at all. He articulated his point. He methodically said, and as he was speaking, it hurted him to talk about that, you know, coming to this realization that this girl was unhinged. And my hat's off to you, and my heart's out to these people that have been in these 20, 30-year relationships. So that's the reason why I come on. I just wanted to say that, because I don't think I won't ever meet a narcissist again, because I do on a regular basis. Will I ever get involved with one? I would hope not, on a deep level. But it's like anything, you have to work out every day if you want your muscles to stay strong. So you have to stay vigilant about these people, because some of them are so smooth, man. They can come on here with channels to which I've unsubscribed to, so many of them, and nobody had to tell me they were narcissists. I just unsubscribed because whether I'm wrong or right, put it this way, for my sake and my sanity, I just had to unsubscribe, you know?
Yeah, I pray for the people out there as well who are leaving children behind. For the fathers who have done that, we know what it is, and it's very, very heartbreaking. You know what I mean? So you're just behind there, wondering what your children are doing. But at some point, at some degree, healing is necessary for a parent, because if you're a father who has been involved in abuse, according to my own experience, you go out there and you start working on yourself and you heal. The children, somehow they pick up on your energy, you know, because if a person who has got like contact, let's say every now and then, let's say every other week, you're meeting the children and everything like that, your healing also actually helps the children also somehow to manage, because they somehow pick up on that energy, you know. I've had the same experience whenever I meet my kids. I see them in good shape, in good health. I monitor them, I check them, I ask them the questions, I see each and every single detail. What are they up to mentally? Where are they mentally, physically, spiritually, everything, you know? And normally I notice that actually your healing is very important as a father who is going out of abuse. Your healing also somehow, it helps the children also to carry on in a healthful way, because sometimes it's not very easy. You know the processes of getting your children away from the narcissist. All these things involve a lot of documentations and courts and everything, custody stuff and lawyers and all that. So it's a very, very long process to get full custody of children. So, but as a father, the advice I've given, and I think I've done a video before, and I've told the guys out there, especially the fathers who are leaving narcissistic mothers behind, narcissistic women behind, you go out there and heal. Your children are going to depend on your healing. You know, your children's health and the future is going to depend on your healing process. That is exactly how they're going to tap into your healing. Is also what is going to help them to be protected. Because if you're a sick father somewhere you're suffering, you're going through a lot of stuff, you've not healed, you're enduring all this pain, all this trauma and everything, your children, believe me, when they come to meet you, they're not going to like what they see, you know. But when the children are coming to meet you every other week and they are seeing you in good shape, you're in good health, you're doing well, you're healthy, you're happy, they pick up on that energy, you know what I mean? And somehow it also boosts their own, their own health, and their own well-being. So Eugene, because you told me that you didn't have a lot of time. I'm hoping that I'll bring you back at some point, because I've been talking about that video that you did about the discard. I would really want us to hear about your discard story. How did things end? Because it wasn't. That video had a lot of information in it that I wanted you to share with us next time. If I can invite you another time, and you can share through that end process. Exactly, it was quite an interesting one. You know what I mean? I've also shared my discard journey as well on my channel.
Is it the one where you see where she started pinning all the stuff about narcissists in the room, or
no? Like the one where she dismantled the whole house.
She dismantled the whole house. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, you are videoing the house. She dismantled the whole house and broke down a lot of things. I want us to know a little bit about that one incident that happened. We can do a session. Well, we can do another live, and you can share that discuss story with us if you want.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. That's a separate one. So real quick, my life started before the discard, and I know a lot of people know. Looking back, if you can look back at your life, you are always being prepared for the torture and the redemption, not just to go through it. Because people are right now saying, man, why did I have to deal with this? What did I do to deserve this? You were born. We don't deserve anything good in life. So the good books say, but death, whether you believe that or not, because you didn't bring anything in the world. But what you take out of this world, you can give it to your children, like he's saying. I've been to prison twice in my 20s. I was a terrible alcoholic. I got out of prison. I got a job. First job I got was Walmart, to which I admitted I just got out of prison, and they still hired me. And this is for people who are doubting the strikes against them. This is the only reason why I'm interjecting this. And equally to say that I'm not exonerated from being a less than good person in my past. But what I have done through all of this narcissist abuse is became real with myself. So I give the best of me to the world now. Uh, I have custody of my children. If any guys out there are thinking about giving up, because these narcissists will make men impulsively do stuff that they are not even capable of doing normally in their right mind. And by way, the children who I have custody with, not to confuse the audience, I fathered those children by a woman that I didn't marry. This was before the narcissist here. So me and the narcissist didn't have children together.
Yeah.
But my children's mother, you know, that's a whole nother story too. But she doesn't bother me, and I share the kids with her too. So this has a good ending in that. I'm not mad at anybody. I don't have any hostilities about anybody. So with my videos, I only want people to know that sometimes I might get a little intense, but I really don't have any malice against the narcissist. And you have to forgive them for you, not for them, so you can move on. And you said that one time, and a lot of other people said the forgiveness is for you, and
You
that's
forgive
all I wanted to say. So I'll go on. I'll come on again. You didn't want me to remake the video. You just want me to come on live with you and talk about it. The discard.
Yeah, the Discord. I want us to. I want to invite you here so that you come and share with us that story of the ending, how it happened. If you want to do that, if that is,
I would be okay with that. I don't mind. I mean, I'll put it in context, and I'll be ready to do that with you, so I don't wander off, because there's so much we want to share with people in just a short amount of time, because you don't want to lose an audience that may be dealing with this right now in this moment. And
yeah. Because there's people going through Discords, and they really need to know the little details that just for them to get to that enlightenment and knowing what exactly happens at the end of those. I've shared my own story eventually, and as I see now, this thing is working with the StreamYard. So I'm going to be inviting a lot of guys to share stories with us, whatever they are going through. So we'll be inviting a lot of guys out there. The only thing, if you're out there, you want to talk, you want to come on live, email me and give me your. All I need is some kind of I think I need your phone contact. I may send you a link in the email, but normally it is better to have the phone. I can WhatsApp you the link if you want to come on live, and you can always come on live and share your stories with us. Thank you very much, Eugene, for being with us on this live, and I wish you all the best. And I really hope to see you sometime soon back here on these videos.
Pleasure. Thank you, man. Have a great day. Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, Eugene. Thank you very much. So, guys, that was Eugene. You guys have heard, you've been with us, you've heard what he had to say. I'll just read through a few comments here and there. Michelle Richardson. Seen these demons, black eyes and distorted face. This is not human. Knowledge will help you heal. Then once you know what you're dealing with, you become unfazed. That's from D. Dunk. Michelle, these predators need strong boundaries. We all have trauma, but we all don't turn dark. Eyes are the windows of the soul. How to make eye contact. Mahogany says, my mother won't give me mine. I went to get another one. No contact was the best for me. I don't know what you're talking about, Mahogany. My mother want to give me what? Give me mine. Give me mine what? We didn't get the whole. And then I went to get another one. So I don't know what you're talking about here. We have Tammy says, thank you for giving powerful healing points. I'm so thankful I didn't marry him. So Tammy didn't get married to the narcissist. That's Tammy real. There's why people lie to break up and destroy the relationship. Walking into work. Tasha is walking into work. We'll tune back for the replay later on. Enjoying you. All right. So, guys, healing. We've already been 15 minutes into this video. I don't want it to be long. Some of the things I had to do to heal, personally, this is on a personal perspective, was I had to detach from people. You know, detaching was one of the biggest things I did in the beginning to get myself to that point of healing, because I knew that there was a lot of people involved during the course of my life. You know, family, we're talking about families, friends, a lot of people along my journey as well. So I had to let people go, because remember, when you wake up, you eventually identify the vampires, you identify the toxicity, you identify the people and their intentions. So it is very, very easy for you to let them go. You identify them, you let them go. So that is one of the things that helped me along. It might be as well the same case for you, to help you heal after narcissistic abuse, especially after narcissistic abuse. It can be different situations, but on my channel, you guys already know, we usually talk about narcissism. So you have to detach from people. People who don't mean you well, people who have got bad ill intentions for you, you let them go, healing happens. Because by letting them go, they also live with that toxicity, and in some way, your healing starts to take place. So letting people go is one of the things. So Michelle is saying she had to isolate to heal. Slow my life down to figure exactly what I was dealing with. So slowing down and isolating, that was Michelle's process. For the most of you guys, you can also use that way. I've used it as well, the isolation process, which has happened for a very long, a couple of years. Isolation helps you to heal, because you're by yourself figuring things out. You are putting pieces together. You are focusing on yourself. You're going within. Isolation is a very, very, very big step for a person who is trying to heal. It's also an important thing you can do to isolate. So no noise, it's just you doing your own stuff, nobody around you. You isolate, you heal. Another practice I used to do to heal, one thing that might also help you guys out there, another practice I used to do was, I used to like to go grounding. I still go grounding actually these days, but of course, not eventually as much as I used to before, but I used to go grounding almost every single day. So grounding happens in so many ways. Everybody has got their own ways of grounding. Some people like to go and sit under a tree and meditate down there. Some people like to go and have a very long walk on the beach. Some people like to go and have a walk in the park. You know, some people want to go and do the grounding with the feet. You know, you just like go somewhere, you remove your shoes, and you have a long walk in the park. That is what I used to do, because we don't have a beach around this place. So it was easy for me just to go in the park. We have got a very, very big park near my house. You go there, you remove your shoes, you connect with Mother Earth. And believe me, guys, you know it or you don't know it, every single day you do that, you will start to feel better about yourself, you know. Another healing practice, what I used, which might also be a part of your journey, is meditation. I went to meditation, very, very serious meditation. I remember in those days, I started researching videos about meditation. You know what I mean? You know that moment where you just sit down by yourself and just do the breathing exercises. You know what I mean? So you just breathe in and breathe out, and that's all you have to do. But the most effective one I do, the most effective one I used to do, which also helped me along my journey, was that one whereby you sit down in silence, you switch off all the machines, TVs around, of mobile phones, radios and everything. You sit down, you know, you can't sit down on the floor. You can sit on your bed. You can sit in the chair like I'm sitting here, and you just all of a sudden close your eyes. You start meditating. So it's like you breathe in, you take a very, very deep breath, and you count 4. So it's like when you breathe in, it's like you're counting. It should take like 4 seconds of breathing in. You hold it in, and then you breathe there. When you hold it in, you count 7 seconds as you're holding the breath. And then when you're breathing out, you count 8 seconds. That was the most effective one I used to use, also in the meditation practice, of course. So the other things that can help you to heal as well, if you're trying to heal whichever whatever the case, whatever thing you've been going through, whether you're healing from trauma or you're healing from after narcissistic abuse, you can also eat healthy, eating healthy as you can, as healthy as you can. What do I mean by that? More fruits, more vegetables, you drink a lot of water, you know what I mean? So anything you can do to eat healthy is also a practice that can help you to heal successfully. Another one that I want to share with you, the healing process that I was doing in that time was, I listened to sound frequencies. Now, Michelle is talking about the 432, with the 432 hertz sound frequency, but I used I used the 396 in the beginning. Now in this time I use the 432 because I'm fully healed. So I just use the 432 to stay in harmony with the universe. But in the beginning of the stages of the in the beginning stages of the discard, normally it was the 396 hertz. That was the one I used, the frequency that mostly that I used to break the trauma bond, you know what I mean? So I use the 432 at the moment because I'm just trying to, stay in balance, to make sure that I'm in balance with the universe and with God, So if there is something else you guys have used to heal, I would like us to know, drop us a comment in the chat, let us know which ways have you used to heal, share with the people out there, the guys who are starting their healing journey. Maybe there's something that has helped you work in your way. You can share with us, with the people out there who are healing, especially after abuse. Let me see if there are any other comments here. So healing also, another thing what I can remember, I'm just going to be remembering these things randomly. So the other thing I remember, I had to break the cycle. So for me, breaking the cycle was involving getting out of old habits, the way I used to do things, the time I used to wake up, like I remember those days, I used to wake up around 10, 11, sometimes, sometimes 9. So I started breaking the cycles. And of course, I introduced new habits that I would use to change the patterns that I'd been involved with for a very long period of time. Because remember, as you're healing, you're getting rid of old energy. So when you're getting rid of old energy, you also sometimes have to introduce new habits for yourself. So I started in those days, like for example, I would get up very, very early in the morning. I remember that time I would get up around 6, let's say around 6, sometimes 5:30, sometimes 6, the maximum 7. So I started getting up very, very, very early. And of course, I developed some spiritual practices that I wanted to use. For the most of you guys who like baths, you can just decide to do a salt bath. You just you can use the Himalayan salt or sometimes the sea salt, and you can just soak yourself in the nice soft salt bath. But me personally, I would just get up and just go jogging. I like jogging. I get up there, go jogging, sometimes walk around the park. At least I would make that practice for each and every single day for an hour in those days. So guys, when I'm talking about healing, you've got to understand something very, very important. Healing is, you cannot, what do they call it? You cannot, when you're talking about healing, you cannot avoid healing. The problem is that when you avoid healing, when you try to feel sorry for yourself because you don't want to put in the work to heal, believe me, guys, that cycle that you've been involved with is going to come back again because you're not healed. So you're going to find yourself going in circles over and over again with the same problems, with the same people, with the same behaviors, with the same things are going to follow you when you don't heal. The reason why you see some of us are now starting to come out and help you guys because we have been there and we have walked the journey. So healing, you cannot avoid healing. It has got to happen. So, and unfortunately, it is the victim who is supposed to fully get involved in their healing process. Because healing is not like somebody comes and heals with you. Yes, we come here online. We are going to help you on your journey. Sometimes we tell you 1 or 2 things you need to do, but the healing, it is fully done by the person who is involved in that process. So you take responsibility of your healing process. And another thing that also helps you to break trauma bonds, because remember that when you're healing, you're also breaking trauma bonds. You also try to forgive. You forget. We've just been with Eugene online here. We've just been with Eugene. And he has told us that the first thing he does, he forgot about it was the narcissist. So they never sought revenge, hate, and all these kind of things. You forget those individuals, you forgive them for yourself. You know what I mean? Healing happens a lot when you forgive, guys. When you forgive somebody who has done you wrong, people who have hurt you in the past or things like that, believe me or not, you're going to start feeling better about yourself. Healing is going to happen eventually. So those are the things I can think about with the healing. Of course, eventually I've also told you guys about the healthy eating healthy, you know, a lot of fruits as much as you can, a lot of vegetables as much as you can, less oils, less fat, less sugar, and a lot of water. You have to take in a lot of water as much as you can as well. Lisa Martin, trust the process. Yes, no hurry. Looks like Tasha has got a question up here. Let me see. Denzo, I really want to see if you can ask my question. There's a question, Tasha, from Tasha. Let me see. I'm trying to find and carry out my purpose here. I believe God, okay. I believe God told me to get on a public platform in the last few months of 2021. Do you think this means he was trying to tell me I need to help others heal from narcissistic abuse? Yes, Tasha, I've seen the question. So I believe God told me to get on a public platform in the last few months of 2021. Do you think this means he was trying to tell me I need to help others heal from narcissistic abuse? I think that's a good thing to do. Actually, I've shared the video before and I've told you guys, the best thing you can do for yourself and to the others around you and other victims around the world who are suffering from this kind of abuse, the best thing you ever do is to come out and speak. Guys, you have got to speak. Speaking is your right. The narcissist has silenced you for years. A lot of you guys have been with narcissists for 10 years, 15 years, I don't know, 7 hours with the narcissist for 7 years eventually. But a lot of you guys have spent a lot of years in silence. You have been in your houses suffering in silence. The narcissist was doing whatever they wanted to do. They were the bosses. And they were the ones who are running the show. So you get out there and you start working on yourself. It's also a part of the process. You have got to start to speak. One thing I noticed about speaking, especially on this platform, because I started this platform about more than 2.5 years ago. So I noticed that actually every time I came out and spoke about things, I continued to heal. Speaking is also part of the healing, especially when you're talking about the truth. When you're coming out and sharing your experiences and talking about the truth, there is people out there who want to hear what you have to say. There may be a lot of people as well who have been going through abuse. They want to hear your story. They want to hear what you have, what is your experience. And believe me or not, by sharing whatever it is you went through and talking about your truth, you also heal yourself. Not only heal yourself, but you also help other individuals around you to heal. So, Tasha Blair, I would encourage you to start up your platform. I support on this channel, I support guys who are starting up YouTube. So if you're starting up YouTube and maybe you want to share on YouTube or whatever, I only use YouTube. I'm not much into Instagrams and all these other ones. So I'm very much into YouTube. I always support people. So when you have a channel, you start sharing on your channel. I share your channel on my channel and other people get to know you. I've done it. I've done that ever since the beginning because we always grow by helping others grow. So you have a channel, you start a channel. In a couple of videos, I'll pick out one of your videos and I'll share it on my channel, and you get a lot of you get some more viewers, people to understand what your channel is all about. So Tasha Blair, yes, you can go ahead and start a channel. That is intuition speaking to you. You should start a channel, get your camera. I don't know what you're using, camera or phone. Make your first video. Don't worry about perfection. Don't worry about the details. You just have to do a video and upload it on YouTube. And find the channel name for you, and find the appropriate name you want to use for your channel, and you will take off. Everything is not clear at the beginning, guys. When you're starting these platforms like YouTube, everything is not clear. So things may be a little bit foggy. In the beginning, you don't know how to record, you don't know how to hold the cameras. I used to struggle a lot, guys. When I was beginning this channel, I struggled a lot. I didn't even know how to hold my own camera. You know, I didn't know how to stand. I was very shy on the camera. So you get the confidence on the way. Don't worry about being perfect, you know what I mean? Just wake up in the morning organically, get your camera and record, you know what I mean? So these videos on YouTube, people, they like to see organic stuff sometimes, you know, they like to see, you know, if you come out there authentically, people, they will know what is authentic. When you start talking, they will know you are authentic or not. So just come out and focus and stick to the truth. Your truth is your truth, and it may also be somebody's experience, and they want to hear your story. So guys, normally on these lives, if you would like to have a session with me, guys, book a session with me. All the emails, I'll leave the details in the link in the description below. And also, if you want me to invite you, like we have done with Eugene Mochesmo, Mr. Mochesmo, if you would like me to invite you here and share your story, you send me an email, #1, and you add your telephone number. And then, of course, we shall arrange a date, and I will come on live. And I'll introduce you on live here, and you'll also have to share your experience about whatever it is you went through. So other than that, guys, it has been my healing video. This has been a video for today. If you'd like to add on anything to this, you can always leave us a comment in the section below. Much love and blessings. And Desmo signing out, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thank you for being with this, for being with us on this live feed. Bless you, and talk to you soon.